Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. So I was, explaining the object-oriented programming in my previous video, but in this video, I have a challenge. I challenge myself is that nowadays I'm not reading any books. What I do, I watch some video, and whatever it is, maybe coding, like about business, whatever it is, maybe interview podcast. So nowadays, I try to learn faster. So I explain how I use all the AI tools, but particularly on this video, what I will do, just I challenge myself is that I'm gonna read out the entire video transcript. No. You're not heard correctly. Well, let me say again. I'm just going to read out the entire transcript with help of AI. How? Let's see. So this is the object-oriented programming. The YouTube channel name is Code with Josh. So I get the transcript. If you don't know how to get it, well, let me show you. So this is the, you can click on it and then you can get here. So I click 40 minutes, around 40 minutes, and then after selecting or copying that segment, I just paste on this AI tools called QN. So I use QN because if you use ChatGPT or other platform, so those platforms are, they have a restriction, so they are not allowing you to paste very big amount of text, but here you can paste it. Even on cloud you also can paste it. So that's why I use QN. It's really free of cost. Just use it, guys. And yeah, so my challenge is I'm gonna read out the entire course, like 7 hours. So actually I upload a lot of video, so where I play with Gemini or other AI tools. So I ask question, hey, like explain very shortly, briefly, and my different queries. So yeah, so you can do that, and I recommend you just do that. Not only learning coding, maybe everything. Okay, all right. So I'm just read out word by word. Okay, so the first line is I'm reading out is that if you are ready to take your Python skill up a level, this is a video for you. For the next 7 hours, I'm gonna take you on an object-oriented journey with OOF programming, taking you through this advanced crucial concept in Python. We are we are really going to focus on two key concepts in encapsulation and inheritance. This course builds on your course, foundational skills so far in programming. It's an extension of my Python for Absolute Beginner course that I released at the beginning of the month. Right? It's still absolutely free. That's the best part. 7 hours of more premium content coming at you for free. If you guys enjoy this stuff, do me a favor for this course. Like subscribe this. I know, right? But liking helps this course reach more students, people who could really use this course, and comment your thought below if you have been feeling overwhelmed by this topic. Right, let me break it down for you. Have got you covered. By end of this course, you are going to have mastered a crucial concept, not only in Python but in programming concepts as a whole. So with over 7 years in the education space, I have created interactive lesson and materials as well as live coding exercise. That's right. All these challenges to further your understanding. If you are ready, I have been ready. Let's dive in. Welcome to Code with Joe's Special. Don't skip this part, guys. Alright, the next few minutes are the most important few minutes of this course. I'm going to break down who this is for, and is it even for you, and who this is going to work best for, and how to go through this course. Alright, just give me a few minutes here. Right, this is my extension to really break down a key crucial concept programming, right? OOF or object oriented programming. All right. Now this is a topic that I did cover in my course Python for absolute beginner. I'll put that here, right? That was still free for you, but it's a it's a it's rather crucial and advanced concept. This course is dedicated to furthering your understanding in this crucial concept of OOF through encapsulation and inheritance. Now, if you are new to programming, this is not the course for you. You should understand Python as a whole already, right? Control structure, function, modules. Alright, so you should maybe have worked with classes before. If you haven't, that's okay, because I'm not going to teach programming the basic of that. I've done that in my previous course. Uh, Now here we are going to here we are going into OOF. We are going to further that. I want to emphasize too, this is not a project based course. Now guys, also this is still 100% free, right? I'm not getting paid anything for this, but I'm hosting this course as well as my other courses for you guys on my own platform. And yeah, I'm gonna put that as a first link in the description. All right, head head on over there head on over there. You will get a good load of free resource for you, right? My handcraft Python guide. You get an interactive learning community to chat with others and learn. That's key. All right, if you are going to hold yourself responsible and you want to progress and learn, don't sit here watch a YouTube video. It's not going to happen. By learning, engaging, asking questions, answering questions, that is how we learn, right? So check out the platform. It's absolutely free. It's the link in the description. All right, that's just going to bring you guys a smoother viewing experience, right? It's free. Now this course, guys, I have timestamps. Use the timestamp. If there are topic skip ahead to the topic and indulge in it. Comment, ask question, so code along the way. All right, I'm really excited for this. Any question, let me know. All the resources I have for you guys are in the description. I think that's it. Over to the course. Hi, enjoy. Welcome to my name is Josh, with over 5 years in the education field, for which two of the last have been especially with Python. I've taught teens all the way to young adults. I've taught hundreds of students, and I'm here to share my knowledge with you. Let's jump into a general course overview of what you can expect throughout this class. Throughout this class, you are going to build a strong foundation in the fundamental concept of object-oriented programming. You're going to use your existing Python skill as we grasp new concept, and you learn new ways to implement the knowledge. The knowledge you gain in this course is going to be instrumental in your programming journey from here on out. As we go through our lessons, we're, we're going to be we're going to build on each previous lesson, and this, this is going to give you a good understanding of OOF and general concept that come with it. I have seen many students struggle with this topic or try to speed past this topic. The topic of object-oriented programming, this course is designed to give you a strong foundation in those important fundamentals that we will use in any OOF language. Many online courses have too much, and some of the fundamental concepts get brushed over because of too much material all in one course. Don't spend enough time strengthening your foundation skill. I have broken this course down to a level that easy for you to understand. This course is structured in the best possible way that As we progress, it's gradually going to get harder, building on the skill that you are learning from the previous lesson. Throughout this course, you will get an overall idea of what object-oriented programming is. You will spend time working with different objects. You spend time defining your own classes and objects. We together will grasp the concept of the class inheritance as well as the concept of multiple class inheritance. And finally, to end this course, you are you are going to learn about the under method or the special method that come with object oriented programming in Python. So, who is this course designed for? This course was created for beginner to intermediate student in mind and will not teach you the fundamental of Python, but rather the fundamental of OOF. Students who join this class should already have a basic Python understanding, such as what are conditional statement, loops, function, and the data structure we use in Python. So this is not a project-based course, but rather a challenge-based course to really hope in your understanding of OOF. The concept in the overall logic. We need to solve this problem. It's designed for those of you who want programming broken down to a different level of understanding. It's designed for visual learners as well as challenge-based learners. Throughout this course, you will have slides for our new topic, live coding exercise as well as quizzes. I can't wait for us to get started and to take a closer look at object or oriented programming. I'll see you guys in class. Before we get started, this video is for those of you who do not have Python installation or your computer and do not have idea like VS Code. If you have both of those, you can skip this video and head into the first lesson. If you don't, this is the right video to help you get set up. First up, let's get Python and install that on your local environment. The system on Google. I would like to just Google Python. I should be the first link, or it's gonna be the first uninstalled link. I'm gonna click welcome to Python. It takes you to the Python page. Here is where you can find any documentation or anything to help you with Python. What I'm interested in is I want to scroll down. We see all these subtitles. I have get started download docs. Today we are interested in download, and I'm gonna click the latest version Python 3.11. So now do not worry by the time you watch this video. This version of Python may have changed, and that's okay because currently what I'm on is Python 3.1. As you can see, this is 3.11, so it's fine. At the very bottom, you are going to see these files. Now, it's very important here. If you are on Mac, you are going to click the Mac Universal Installer. If you are on Windows, you can click the Windows Installer 64. I'm gonna click Mac CU because I'm on a Mac, and then at the top, it is gonna download Python. Once Python is done downloading, you need to go through the steps for installation. So open it, run it, go through those steps. I'm not gonna do so only because I already have this on my system. So get over on Google. We need to get an ID. Now you have plenty of options for this. You could use Sublime, Atom, or what I personally use is VS Code. So I'm gonna go into Google and I'm gonna search for VS Code. There it is. It is the first link, visualstudio.com. Visual Studio is great. It's widely popular amongst developers around the world. If you go in here, you can just You can just click the first link. It takes you to the home page. You are going to see a big blue button here. Now, depending on your operating system, this will I'm on Mac. It tells me to download Mac Universal. If you are in Windows, it's gonna tell you to download the Windows Universal. You can click here, then just like Python, it's gonna download in the top right. Once VS Code is done downloading, you can open it, go through the step for installation. I highly recommend that you get a shortcut and you save this to your desktop or your icon bar at the bottom of your window. As we are going to be using VS Code a lot, it will be handy to have a shortcut. I'll see you guys in the next setup video. So, hi, welcome to. So, what is object-oriented programming? In short, this is lesson one. Before jumping, before jumping, before jumping and start coding or anything like that, we need to start at the very beginning. We need to discuss what is object-oriented programming, or simply put, OOF. So let's jump in to further discuss and break down what exactly OOF is. I have made a list of bullet points. It's okay. It's a way to organize our code. This makes it easier to understand, manage, and reuse. All objects that they are like blocks of code, and they each have their own properties, attributes, and their own function. Method, simply put, if I could explain it like this, objects are like building blocks or like Legos. They can be used to create more complex problem, or if you are building with Legos, more complex design. In OOF, there are big pod, and it's called encapsulation, and this is hiding all the internal details of one specific object from the outside. By hiding this, uh, it makes it easier for us to manage and for us to understand the code. Then the holy grail of OOF, we have inheritance. This makes um, programming with object amazing. Inheritance allows for the creation of class. Now, going forward, I want you to think of a class as a blueprint, and this can use to create multiple objects with shared properties and methods. It's gonna be a powerful tool as we go forward. Let's take a look at what an object really is. So on the screen, each object, right? I have object 1, object 2, object 3. They each have their own attributes. So in this example, an attribute could be considered color. They each look different. They have their own color and they have their own unique accent. But at the end of the day, all of these are objects, or all of these are squares. Alright, just remember, an object has its own properties, its own attributes, as well as its own action. What can this object do? Here's a fun example I put together. Going forward in the coming lesson, I'm going to use example like this. Here is an example of object. Now they are all birds. You can see that they are all birds, and they share some of the same properties. But then they do, but then they all have unique properties of their own. Some common characteristics of all of those these objects, they all have 2 legs and they can fly. Those are shared properties. Some unique properties, for example, is I have a type of bird, hummingbird. This hummingbird is only found in the America. These are unique properties that only this bird has. So can you see how? Can you see? So you can see we have 4 different objects, and an object. I want you to remember this word instance. I prefer to use the word object, but in other programming documentation, you will probably see this word instance more than once. An instance is an object. It's an example from a class. This object is from this class. Now, a class is like a family. It's a group of similar objects under one roof. All of these are unique birds, but at the end of the day, they are all birds. If I ask you what animal is that, you would tell me it's a bird. If I ask you to be very specific, what type of bird is that? Well, that bird is a parrot, and that bird is an object. This is how object-oriented programming is broken down. Let's move on a little more. I'm gonna give you guys a brainstorm challenge. I want you to take the next 5 minutes. I would like I would like you to think of three different classes. Remember family, and for each class, I would like you to think of three objects. As an example, if I go back, I have one family birds. Then three objects would be owl, hummingbird, canary. That's one example. I would like you guys to think of three more classes. Each class with three objects. Pause the video here. Write down what you come with. Write down what you come up with. Pause the video here and write down what you come up with before moving on. Great. Some examples that I have come up with. I have put in the source code for this lesson, and I have also put it here. These could be three examples that I come up with. I have a class, a family of vehicle, right? Each of these are different objects. At the end of the day, they are all vehicle. But when you get specific, one object is a car, one is a truck, one is a van, and one is a luxury vehicle. They are all different types. I have a class for furniture, but furniture is very broad. What are some objects that come from this class? Chair, sofa, table, and bed. Okay. Finally, I had a class of countries. Then we have US, Thailand, Vietnam, and France. They are all different countries. At the end of the day, they are all a country. They come from a class. Countries. Great. I would love to hear what you guys come with. So I would love to hear what you guys came up with. So be sure to put in on the Q and Q and Q&A of this lesson before moving on to working with object in lesson 2. At this point in your Python journey, you should already have a decent understanding of the following: variables, function, loops, condition, as well as some basic Python lingo. You can see on the screen, I have made some categories. In the first one, I have function. Now, when it comes to function, you should understand both of these: how to define a function, and if I use the word parameter or argument, you should understand what that is too. With loops, you should know how to set up while loops and for loops, and why we use both of these. You should understand our condition and conditional statement, which means creating your own and all the logic operators that come with that. You should know some basic data structure. This could be your dictionaries as well as list, tuplet. All of these are acquired over the fundamental of Python, which you should have learned. Going forward with object-oriented programming, this is more of an intermediate to an advanced topic. I'll be using functional loops, condition, and data structure throughout this program. If you are unfamiliar with any of these, please look some of please look some of them up before moving on. I'll see you guys in the lesson 2, working with objects. Welcome back to lesson 2. In the last lesson, we introduced what exactly is object-oriented programming. In this lesson, we are going to be working with object in Python. This will strengthen your understanding of what an object is and how we use this to work with objects. I'm gonna introduce a special Python module to work with objects. I'm gonna introduce a special Python module. This module, this module is called Turtle. Turtle is a module in Python which allows us to draw and create art. But if you are probably asking now, but you are probably asking, Josh, I signed up for a course on object-oriented programming. Why are we doing this module? Although this seems like something for kids, Turtle module is a hidden gem for learning hooks. Throughout my years of teaching, I have seen Turtle strengthen the fundamental of object in my students. That is why I'm using it in this course. And this module is gonna give you a strong understanding of how objects work in programming and how we can use them throughout our code. In the picture on the left, we have 9 objects, all of which are Turtle. All of which are Turtle. Each Turtle, though, has its own properties, so its own color, and it very well may have its own speed, and they all have different accents that can do different tasks. Now, two new keywords that I introduced in the last lesson. What are method and properties? Let's dive in. Let's dive in and let's take a look. Let's dive in and let's take a look. A method is a function. Alright. So simply put, if you boil everything down, a method is a function. Do not forget that. Especially, it's a function in a class. A property is a variable, especially a variable in class. If you have to say that a few times, that's okay. A method is a function in class. A property is a variable in class. I want you to think about how do you use variables and how do you define variables. Good, got it. How do you make a function? How do you use a function? You should know those. You should start to think about those. And on the left, I have 3 different properties. I have, I have color, speed, width. If you think of this like a variable, which you should, I have my variable, and then the value to the variable is here. So our color, its value is maroon, parrot. Speed, its value is 5. Canary, width, its value is 2. Now, a property and method must be linked to an object in order to work. So color is linked to the object owl, speed is linked to the object parrot, and width is linked to the object canary. If you guys remember from the last lesson, I showed us an illustration. We had a class or a family which I called birds. In the bird family, we had 4 objects. We had an owl, hummingbird, canary, and parrot, and those are the objects that I'm linking to my properties very good. On the right, I have an example of 3 methods. It looks the same as a normal function. It has a unique function name, and it's followed by a set of parentheses, just like a property. A method must be linked to an object in order to run the work. Just what I had mentioned. As you can see, all my properties and all my methods are linked to specific object. Let's take a look at how to set up our code. We are going to be heading over to VS Code or any ID of your choosing very shortly. Now, the code on the left here is actually outputting the image that you see here on the right. You should have a basic understanding of how module works. At the top, we are importing this module Turtle. I'm then creating 2 objects. Okay, so an object is like a variable, but the volume of the object is a class. So T1 is an object, Turtle1. The value of T1 is a class. My class is Turtle. It's capitalized and it's followed by a set of parentheses. Once I created my object, I can then set the properties of each object. So T1 is gonna have the color of orange. T2 has the color purple. I'm then linking to method to each object. I'm giving them action. I'm giving them instruction of what to do next. I'm giving them instruction of what to do next. When I run this code, we can see the output on the right, but let me break that down even further. Here we have step by step of what's happening, and this is how I like to use Turtle and create object. We are importing everything at the top of our code. Once we have our import, I can then create any object I will use. I could click on. I could create 5 as well. We are then assigning the color property to each of our object, and then I'm linking our two method to object in order to get them to move. The final function you see here on the screen is done. This is a special function that comes with Turtle. It allows the drawing to stay on the screen once it's complete. Great, I've shown you some basic Turtle code. I'm actually going to show you some of the function, the method, and the variable or the properties we will use in this lesson. Let's check them out. Alright, so on the left I have my column of some properties and method you will use what they do along the way. Okay, please note that all of these must be linked to an object because they are properties and methods. We have the color property and this assign a color to the object. Now it's important to note that color inside is a string. The second method is of width, and this is the width of the line you're drawing. Automatically the width of the line is none. If you would like to increase that, you can put an integer inside, which will change your width. The turtle is just the name of the turtle is just the name for the object, and we can actually change the shape of all the object you see on the screen. You can change it to circle, arrow, square, turtle, as well as a triangle. You can use the speed property, which speeds up the drawing itself. The maximum speed you can do is 10 in order to give your turtle motion or action. We have the forward method. You can use the word forward or you can use FD. Inside we put the number of pixels you want to move in the direction, and finally on this page we have our direction. We have left and right. Both of these methods take a degree. How many degree do you want to turn? Left 90 would make you a square if you did that 4 times. Very good. Take a moment if you need to. Take a moment if you need to. Pause the video here. Take a screenshot. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to a few more properties method. Here, here are a few more. So we have a method called we have method called up. Now, if you imagine that your turtle is like just like this pen I have on my screen. I'm drawing right now. If I want to move on to different location, I need to up. I need to pick my pen up and move it to a different location. I can use the up method to do that. I can use go to justify which coordinates I would like my object to move to. Now this does take an x and y position, and yeah, this does take an y and x position. Once we have moved to a new location, I can then put my pen back down and start drawing again. Great. So the steps in order to move your object up, go to the new position, put it back down. You can then draw again. Put it back down. You can then draw again. So in one of the challenges, I'm gonna ask that to make a circle, and if you are up for a good challenge, you can try drawing a circle with just your two methods, a forward and left. If you wanna make it easier, Turtle has a circle method. Inside you put the radius. How big do you want the circle? How big do you want the circle? If I said one circle, T1 is gonna draw me T1 is gonna draw me a circle within the radius of 10. In good. Documentation online, see what you can do with your circle object. If you want to fill in your drawing, which I'm gonna show you shortly, but if you want to have, for example, your square to be a solid color once you're done drawing, you need to use the beginning fill method. We use this before you start drawing, and once you finish drawing, you can use the end fill method. These two working together will fill in your object with a solid color. The very last line of code you should be using is done. This allows your drawing to stay on the screen once it's complete. Very nice. That's a lot of method. Have gone through 12 actually. We using Turtle with the basic of Python in lesson once. At the end of the lesson, I said that you should already have a good understanding of how to make function, loops, conditional statement, all of that basic knowledge. All of that basic knowledge you can use right here in Turtle to hone in your skill while we are working with the object. So take a look at my code right on the left, right on the left. You see normally I'm importing turtle and I then create an object T1. Remember, my object has the value of the class. I assign my object to properties, color, width. Great. I'm now ready to start doing something with my orange object. I wanna fill in the shape I draw. Then I'm using I'm using a for loop. You should know how to use a for loop. I'm saying for I'm in range 5. That means my loop is gonna repeat 5 times every time. So two things are happening. My object is moving forward 150 pixel before it turns left 144 degree. Once it's complete, it's gonna fill in my illustration which produces an output like this, an orange star. You can actually see my object here on the left of the screen. On the left of the screen, this is what you this this is what your turtle will look like if you do not give it a starting shape. Very good. Let's take a look at that example a bit more. Let's take a look at that example a bit more. Right. So just by using that, look that. So just by using that loop that 4 I in range 5 that's producing the orange star you see on the screen. If you did not use a loop, it would be very repetitive because you would have to write these 4 more times. I'm saving you 8 lines of code by using a for loop, right? So experiment. Use the programming knowledge you already have and tie that together with working with object in Turtle. Great. Taking a look at a more complex example, don't worry, I'll break it down. Don't worry, I'll break this down for you even a bit more. Even a bit more. I'll break this down for you even a bit more. At the top, we start with importing Turtle. Okay, I'm going to work left to right. You always start with your import at the top. That shouldn't be anything new. Then I have defined 2 functions of my own. I made the star function and a circle function for this purpose. I'm just going to work with the star function. My star function takes 4 parameters. It takes an object. I'm gonna give it a width. I'm gonna give it a size and color. Then just like outside of function T1 color, right, I'm taking my object T and I'm assigning it a property. What is the color going to be? Well, the color is going to be whatever I give to my parameters. The same thing applies to width. I'm giving my object a width that's gonna be done when I create or call my function. This code is the same exact code as you saw in the properties slide, previous slide. If I go back right here, you see all of this except in this example. I define the object as T1, especially in the following example. I have defined one object T, but T could be anything. Over in our code, then right you can see that I have made T. So T equals turtle. I'm gonna give this object to my function. Our program runs. We begin with asking for an input. This is where I can enter a safe. So if my input is equal to star, I am going to collect a width. I'm gonna collect a color. I'm gonna collect the size. This will be any argument for my star function. I'll break it down a little bit more. But I encourage you is to pause the video here and really just read through the code. You should understand 80 to 90% of this. Right, so you can see I have color code those three green variables with color size. They are being used. They are being used as the argument to my star function. Those arguments are being passed up to the star function and being used as the values within my function. The same thing is happening with circle. If the entire circle in my input, then I'm asked for a radius and a color which I'm using as an argument to my circle function. They are passed and they are used to create a circle. Pause here, give it a good look. Give it a good look, right? I'm about to give you guys your first challenges in this code. Here you are. Here you are. I put together 5 challenges for you guys. Number one, I want you to draw. I want you to draw hollow pentagon. Each side of pentagon has a different color. Number one. Number two, draw 4 solid squares. Right, so these squares should be filled in with a solid color, all different colors, but all in different location. How do you change a location? You might need to go back a few slides. Number three, I want you to create 3 functions. I want you to create 3 functions. Each function will draw something different when it's called. This is very similar to the previous example in the last slide. Go back, take a look, but come up with your own shapes. Your own shapes. Don't use a star. Make something else. Number four, I want you to draw 10 circles, each at a random location with a random radius. So this might be new to some of you, but if you hear the word random in Python, you should be thinking about the random module. Now this one's good challenge because it's going to require you to import the random module and use the know, random function. If you don't know how to do this, do a little googling. And finally, your last challenge. I would like I would like you I would like you to create I would like you to create 3 different objects. This object will draw 3 triangles in column. Each triangle is a different color. Okay. Now as help, you can use the slide to help you. I encourage you to do that. But at the point, but at the point, but at this point in your programming journey, you should also be comfortable coding or doing your own research or learning how. So you can check out the turtle graphics module documentation. Google that. Just Google that. It's gonna be one of the fast links. You can also use this slide to help you. So I'm gonna head over into VS Code and we are going to code this out. I encourage you to try this challenge on your own. I'll see you guys over in VS Code. So this is my 40 minutes reading out. Okay, so this is my 40 minutes reading out. This is my challenge. This is the first part. So as I told you, I'm gonna cover all of those challenges in order to complete this video, and I hope I can do that. So thank you so much